Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to drboystv.com and the Black Financial Channel, or what I might call Dr. Boyce After Dark. I don't know if whatever you want to call it, but I know that we're live at kind of a late hour, but some of y'all are up, especially my friends across the sea. I know I got a lot of supporters over there in England, and you may find this debate to be quite interesting as well. We're going to talk about Idris Elba, and Idris Elba made some comments about the ongoing debate about whether or not Black British actors are taking roles that should be taken by African Americans. There are some people who are upset about this, some people who are upset that others are upset. And there's a whole sort of financial breakdown on what I call the Hunger Games of racism. And I'm going to break all this down for you. So get comfortable, buckle up your seatbelt. We're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Hey, everybody, what's going on? Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. This is theblackfinancialchannel.com. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I am your friendly neighborhood finance professor. On the Black Financial Channel, we talk about Black wealth and Black economics every single day. We also talk about Black people, Black families, and the Black community. We also believe in the B1 philosophy. B1 means Black first. Black first means you put your community at the top of your priority list. Black first means Black love. Black first means Black unity. B1 means that we must be one to be successful. If you agree with this philosophy, put a hashtag B and the number one in the chat, hashtag B1. That's our calling card. And also shout out the city that you're from and let me know if you can hear me. I always like to make sure you guys can hear me when we get started. What's going on, 9 Millie Go Hard? How you doing? Just give me a quick yes. Let me know the audio is coming through all right. And so here's what I wanted to ask you guys about. I want to ask you, give me a yes or no in the chat also. Has anybody heard about any of this ongoing debate about whether or not British actors, Black British actors, are taking over too many roles that should, in the minds of some, be taken by African Americans? Give me a yes or no if you've seen this debate. Feel free to share your opinion. What's up, Michael Johnson, Jermaine Trusty, Mariah Jones, Miss Briscoe? I see you in there. Christina Littles, how you doing, Miss Littles? Good to see you. Mark Mitchell, B1 always from Washington, D.C. Good. I love to hear that, my brother. So how many of you have heard this debate? This is kind of interesting. I've been sort of paying some attention to it, and I think what brought my attention is the person on the screen is Idris Elba. Idris Elba is an extraordinary actor out of England, and he's a bad boy. He's good at what he does. He's very respected all throughout the world. He deserves every ounce of that respect. I've loved Idris ever since he was on The Wire. I'm sure that my wife likes him even more than I do because he's a handsome guy. He's a smart guy. He's good at what he does, and I respect that immensely. Now, here's what I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about. And actually, I'm gonna pull up a slide here. And before I do that, I want to thank our sponsor for tonight's podcast. It's valortax.com. Valortax.com, where they can get you a good tax refund and everything else. Black-owned company. It's a Black-owned business that is sponsoring tonight's podcast. So if you'd like to take a look, I hope you'll take a visit to valortax.com. Support the folks out there and thank them for supporting the podcast. Because as you know, we can't get support from just anybody, but valortax.com is one of the companies that stepped up. If you have a Black-owned business or a platform you'd like to promote, you can go to drboycefinance.com and purchase a shout out. And that's a good way to support the podcast. Also support your business. You take care of us, we'll take care of you. So with that being said, let's jump into this. So I'm going to start off from the beginning, which is a good place to start. So basically, there was a comment that was made a few years ago by this guy, Mr. Samuel L. Jackson. Now, Samuel made a sneaky quick little comment that really could have been overlooked. It wasn't intended to be offensive, I don't think. It was just his honesty. And the New York Times covered it. And he basically said something about the movie Get Out. Now, how many of y'all saw the movie Get Out and know what the movie Get Out was all about? Let me know if you saw what the movie Get Out was about, and if you even liked the movie. Let me know if you liked the movie. Some of y'all liked it, some of y'all didn't. I think Jordan Peele is the best director in Hollywood right now. I think he's super smart. He's super creative. He's super talented. I started watching. I subscribed to Paramount, I think, because Jordan Peele is doing The Twilight Zone, which, by the way, I highly recommend it. It's extremely good. So, and I also watch his comedy skits and everything. He's super versatile, super smart. I respect it. So anyway, so Samuel was referring to that movie Get Out. And a lot of us understand Get Out because we've been thinking about Get Out our whole life. You know, many of us have got sucked into this thing called integration, where next thing you know, you're living in the suburbs, you're working around white people. Maybe you got your little white girlfriend, and you finally realize, wait, that in America, you ain't white. You find out the hard way that you ain't white. And then it's very painful because now you're trying to get out. A lot of y'all trying to get out right now. A lot of y'all trying to get out of that job. A lot of y'all trying to get out of that whatever situation that you're in, that codependence on the system that does not love you, does not support you. And I'm feeling extra black today because I'm actually broadcasting to you from Black Wall Street. I'm actually a few blocks away from the Greenwood section of Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I'm going to tell you, I did a tour of Black Wall Street today, and I was livid. I was so angry, not just because of what happened, but because of what's happened since, and the fact that they have not given reparations for what happened to those people. The people in the community are being screwed. The black folks in Tulsa should be fighting harder, and it's really making me mad. But anyway, so Get Out was all about something that many black folks can relate to. So here's the deal. So Samuel Jackson made a quick little comment, that some thought was kind of a sneak diss, but I don't think it was intended to be that way. And he basically said, look, if that movie had been played by an American brother, and I didn't even know that this guy wasn't American. Daniel Kalu, I don't have his name in front of me, but y'all can type in the chat because I don't want to mess his name up and be disrespectful. But a lot of us I didn't even know that the brother Daniel Kaluuya, Kaluuya. How many of y'all even knew that he wasn't African American? Like, how many did y'all know that he's a British actor? They really sneak this stuff up on you. I mean, I'm not, again, just so you know, some of y'all right here are from England, and I have a lot of supporters in England, and I love all of y'all 100%. In fact, the black folks in England, we could take notes from them because when I did an event in London, both events I did in London were totally sold out. And I noticed that there were a lot of professionals and a lot of families and a lot of highly educated black folks who were serious about their lives. And I had so much respect for them. So let's just be clear. You got a lot of allies over in England that you ignore. I know as Americans, we focus on ourselves. We tend to be a little bit narcissistic and a little self-absorbed. And y'all don't understand what's going on down in England. You got some powerhouse black people in England. I've had some on this platform, but how many of y'all knew? I didn't even know that this brother was British. I thought he was like from Cleveland or something. I don't know. I mean, I was really kind of floored by that, and it sneaks up on you, right? You're like, wait a minute, he's not. You can't be from England. Even Idris, when he played Stringer Bell on The Wire, which was the best show ever, probably because he's such a great actor. I don't think any black people knew he was British. I think he talked about it. He talked about how when he would have his British accent, people would be really disappointed, or real dope dealers would walk up and ask for advice on how to run their drug business because they saw him play Stringer Bell, which is like weird. I mean, I hope we ain't that stupid. That kind of makes us look kind of crazy. But anyway, so Samuel Jackson basically said that he feels like that in that movie Get Out, that if that role had been played by an African American brother, he would have really understood what that guy was going through. He could have really related to the character a little bit better than this guy, Daniel Kaluuya. And I'm gonna say this, I think Daniel is a great actor. He's he's in everything. I mean, he's in all the Jordan Peele movies. He was in what was that other one? He was in Black Panther, duh. And he's great at what he does. But when I saw Get Out, I wasn't moved by his performance in Get Out. I don't know. I really didn't feel like he really captured the essence of the sheer pissed off-icity and sheer terror that a black man might feel in that situation. I just don't know if he got it. I think who got it was that comedian, that other brother, the brother that was warning him, like, those white folks will kill you and eat you, and like just saying crazy stuff. Like he was more relatable, right? I understood him. I did not understand Kaluuya's character. And now to some extent, I will say he reminded me of the guys I know who will go and, date the white girl and think nothing of it, and blend in, join the white fraternity, think nothing of it. And then one day they get that Paul Mooney wake-up call. You know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about? The Paul Mooney wake-up call. I'm not going to use the N-word because it's too late for that. But literally they get that wake-up call. Then suddenly they become super pro-black. Anybody know anybody like that? Where literally they're like the biggest Uncle Tom ever. and they're telling you racism doesn't exist and that you're overreacting and that you're crazy. And then they experience racism and they can't handle it, like it really shatters them. And I've seen people like that. In fact, there was a brother about 10 years ago who was a cop who went on a killing spree. He went on a killing spree with other cops. I don't know if y'all remember that, but his name was Christopher something. And if you looked at his life, he kind of fit that description in terms of a black man who really forgot that he was black. And I think that that's what racism does to you in America and beyond, is it can lull you to sleep. I think that we overreact to the wrong things and we underreact to the right things. I think we underreact to things that we should be reacting to, but we overreact to the things that aren't such a big deal. And that's just my 2 cents. Christopher Dorn, was it Dorn? I think it was Doran or something like that. Dorn, D-O-R-N, but it's close. That's close, Black World TV. Yeah, Christopher Dorner. Thank you, Arlie. Yeah, Christopher Dorner. Look up his story. Look up Christopher Dorner's story. That story was unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, crazy. It was. I don't even want to talk about it because it's like traumatic. It was traumatic to watch. But anyway, let me move on. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, share, subscribe. And I want to remind you that Valor Tax is our sponsor for tonight. So I'm going to thank Valor Tax for sponsoring tonight's podcast. If you'd like to sponsor, you have a Black-owned business or you have a platform you want to promote, feel free to go to drboysfinance.com and you can purchase a shout out, and I'll be happy to shout you out. Also, I have to do the quick little public service announcement to let you know that I guess because of the size of our platform, there are people out here pretending to be me that are coming into your inbox. They're hitting thousands of you and asking you for money. That is not me. I'm not going to share a phone number or WhatsApp number and say, hey, call me and whatever. If you think it's me, then ask me for a face-to-face Zoom meeting. And if I show up to the Zoom meeting and you see me talking to you, then you believe it's me. So I want to warn you just so that nobody gets hurt or anything like that. All right. So here's what's interesting, right? So I did some research on this, and there was an article that I found in BuzzFeed, and it was all about the rise of the British actor in America. And it's interesting. It was an interesting piece where they talked about these, great British actors, a lot of actors we didn't even know were British, who've come to America and really taken on some heavy roles. Some of them have taken on iconic roles. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Harriet Tubman was played by a British woman. Martin Luther King has been portrayed by British actors. And there are some American actors and just American people in general, foundational Black Americans, who are a little bit salty about that, who kind of feel like this is not cool. And I didn't know what to think. It was kind of a tough one. I had to process it for a minute because, I think about all the people in England that have been so kind to me. When I went to London, I just kid you not, I never felt more welcome than I did when I was there. The Black people there were so extraordinarily kind to me. And here I was over in London, making money in London, right, as an American. And nobody gave me any problems. Everybody was fully supportive. So I really am hesitant to say that a British actor can't come to America and do their thing. I also believe in the diaspora. I believe that we should find reason to be connected. I think we should find reasons to support each other as opposed to doing things that are going to be divisive. Now, there's another side to that, and I want to share some of this. So, number one, I took a poll. I wanted to see how you guys felt. So I took a poll on my Twitter page. My Twitter is Dr. Boyce Watkins 1. I'll put that on the screen in case you guys want to follow me on Twitter. I like putting things up there that'll challenge you to think. Some things I say will probably going to piss you off, so just be ready to be pissed off a little bit sometimes. But just know I'm always challenging you. I'm going to give you what's in my brain, no matter what it is. And on Twitter, I took a poll and I basically just asked, how do you guys feel about this? And I said, how do you feel about British actors playing Black American roles? 19.9% of you said, I think it's fine. 41% of you said, I don't care one way or the other. 39% of you said, I don't like it. So basically, out of the 59% of you who actually had an opinion that you either liked it or don't like it, it appears to me that roughly 2/3 don't like it. 2/3 of the people that have an opinion have a negative opinion about it. However, 41% of the respondents said that I don't care, right? So that a little bit less than half just don't give a shit. And what category am I in, man? I don't know. I mean, I don't get offended by it, but here's the thing, right? I have to be sensitive to the idea that that what you're dealing with, here's what you're dealing with right now. Let me explain what this is. And I'm gonna show you with a movie that you may know about. Has anybody ever seen this movie? What movie is this? Type in the chat. It's called The Hunger Games. Now, The Hunger Games is interesting, actually. This little white girl actually went to my middle school, but we didn't go to middle school at the same time. She went to my middle school like 20 years after me, but it was kind of crazy. In Louisville, Kentucky. She literally did. You can look it up. And her and her parents, were so excited about her career as an actress that they moved to LA so she could become famous and eventually become one of the biggest actresses in Hollywood. Jennifer Lawrence, that's her name. And so in The Hunger Games, if you recall, the storyline was basically that you had the masses of people that were all being starved. You had the masses of people that were being controlled and managed by the elite. You had the masses of people that were being oppressed. And what they would do in order to control the masses is they would grab a couple of people out of the crowd and help them live the dream. They would have 20 or 30 of them go into an arena and fight to the death over limited resources, and the winner will be paraded to the masses as a symbol of hope. So basically what they realized was this. There's a point I'm getting to with this. They use hope as a way to control the masses. They use hope the same way they control the masses of millions of black boys by parading LeBron James and Steph Curry around to them, saying, "Hey, if you give your whole life to playing basketball, if you come to basketball camp like all the other million black boys, you could be the next LeBron, you could be the next Steph," knowing that 99.9% of them will never ever make a nickel playing basketball, but still, you sold them on hope, so hope causes them to abandon all of the real possibilities to become wealthy, to abandon all the real possibilities to become an asset to the community, to abandon all the real possibilities that involve them achieving educational success or whatever they need in order to be an adequate husband and father. They abandon all of that so they can invest everything they have into becoming the next LeBron. So when I look at acting, so the key element here is when you have a lack of resources and a lack of opportunities, and you get people who are in the oppressed category to turn against each other, to go out there like in the Hunger Games, because there were limited resources for everybody. Everybody's talented, everybody's working hard, everybody's skilled, but only a couple of you can survive. Then suddenly that person who should be your ally becomes your enemy. This is good old-fashioned divide and conquer. This divide and conquer is used all throughout the world. It's been used all throughout Africa when in Rwanda, when the Hutus and the Tutsis were slaughtering each other. That's what was going on. In America, you got y'all Negroes fighting over Democrat-Republican nonsense. I dare you to ever tell me that you stopped speaking to your relative because they were not a Democrat like you or they were not a Republican like you. If you do that, just so you know, I'm not gonna really slap you in the real world, but I'm gonna slap you inside my mind. In my mind, I'm slapping the shit out of you because in my brain, I'm thinking, why in the hell would you drop somebody who loves you over something as stupid as American politics? Why would you stop speaking to your cousin who babysat you in 1988 over the fact that your cousin became a Republican and you can't understand how anybody in their right mind would ever vote for Donald Trump? Well, that ain't your business. This is a free country. Your cousin has a right to vote for whoever they want. Stop cutting off your loved ones over these divide and conquer tactics that are used by white society to keep black people divided from each other. I will love you whether you are a Democrat or a Republican as long as you put black people first and the black community first. Let's move on. Hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, share, subscribe. In case you just came in, we're speaking about a recent comment Idris Elba made in response to a criticism that too many British actors are taking American roles. Now let me just say this, what Idris said, as you hit the thumbs up button and as you subscribe. One thing Idris said that was really interesting was he used the words unintelligent to describe the debate around British actors. I didn't like that language. I didn't like that language at all. I think he, let's see here. This is on, where did I read this? Actually, it was on BET. BET, that white-owned network that pretends to actually represent black people, but really they're selling black people. They're not serving black people. They're selling them. He says that the conversation around black British actors taking on roles typically played by black Americans is an unintelligent argument. Appearing on The Shop via The Root, the British-born actor was asked by host Maverick Carter about British actor Naomi Ackie playing Whitney Houston in the forthcoming biopic, I Want to Dance with Somebody. He says, "You know what I noticed? You said black women in America versus an English woman, like being English makes you less black. To me, that defines how unintelligent the whole argument is. He says, no disrespect to anyone who has that feeling. It is what it is. But the fact is, we're all black. But amongst ourselves, we want to point fingers because we come from a conditioning that makes people just make sure where you're from, and are you authentic from where you're from? How black are you? Quote, it comes down to the caste system and it's annoying to me, really annoying. My grandfather fought in the Second World War for this country. U.S. comes from Kansas City. I come to this country and someone says to me, you ain't American. I'm like, huh? How dare you? Elba concluded, it's acting. Cultural appropriation is definitely something we should pay attention to, but in the acting profession, one should be allowed to play. Okay, so what do y'all think? I mean, give me your thoughts. Like, do you think that he made a valid argument or not? He mentioned his grandfather being from Kansas and that he has American roots, and that it's just wrong to really criticize, black British actors that are taking advantage of opportunities that are being presented to them. What do y'all think? I think he made a great argument in the sense of, kind of making that point that, look, just because he lives in England doesn't mean he can't have roots here. If I was a second generation Italian, I would hate to go back to Italy and have people tell me that I'm not a real Italian. Right? I think that would be wrong. Also, I think that the point he makes about all of us being black and having to find ways to work together, and that this being the result of the caste system, those are all valid points. This is what makes this argument so tough. This is what makes this argument tough. And the reason I'm addressing this is not just because it's a black issue, but also because it's an economic issue. This is an economic issue where you have division occurring because at the end of the day, here's your big problem. The big problem is that black people don't own enough and control enough in this industry to really determine what our destiny is going to look like. The reason that you have this problem is because you've got us all fighting over scraps, crumbs, a couple little rolls, whatever little roll the white man wants to give us, we fighting over it. White boys ain't got to do all that. White boys can get in where they fit in. You got room for Leonardo DiCaprio. You got room for Jack Black. You got room for Brad Pitt. You got room for all the white boys. I mean, there's not a shortage of roles that are available to them. They're not mad because that one role being offered to one white male that year is going to somebody else. So a part of your problem is a lack of opportunity. Part of your problem is a lack of opportunity. So for black folks, one of the solutions to this fighting over scraps problem that we have is the fact that we expect opportunities to be created by other people, and we should be creating opportunities for ourselves. In fact, a lot of the reason, and this was mentioned in that BuzzFeed article, the rise of the black actor, the rise of the black British actor in America, they mentioned in the first couple paragraphs that there are limited opportunities for British actors in England. So I would also even challenge the actors in England. Are you creating opportunities for yourself? Are you developing studios, Idris? I mean, Idris, you are, what's Idris's income? I'm going to put Idris on the spot here. And Idris, if you hear this, you are welcome to come on the podcast. I'd love to hear your point of view. I respect you immensely, brother. Just don't be talking to my wife because, I can't keep up with you in the looks category. But let me see here. Idris Elba, his net worth. What is Idris Elba's net worth? His net worth, he was listed as one of the Time 100 list of most influential people of the world. His films have grossed nearly $10 billion, including $3.6 billion in North America. Okay, so let's see. What's his income? I want to see how much money his brother made. He made, they said he has a net worth of $40 million, but they didn't say how much he makes or how much he makes per movie. I'd be curious to know. I'm going to guess he seems like it. Okay, they said as much as $8 million per film. I see him as an $8 to $10 million guy, right? Okay, so cool. So Idris has money, and more importantly, he has power, he has recognition, he has clout. I would love to see where Idris is making the appropriate transition from celebrated actor to film mogul that can create opportunities for all the British actors who have to come to America to get a chance to be in a film. Am I crazy for saying that? I don't know. Give me a yes or no. Is what I'm saying outrageous? Am I being mean? Am I being pushy? Am I attacking? Does this sound like an attack? I need to know because sometimes I say stuff and it sounds like I'm attacking somebody. I'm not really trying to attack somebody. I'm trying to attack white supremacy. I ain't trying to attack Idris Elba. Seriously. And I think that, that right there would help a lot in terms of kind of solving some of this problem. Because here's the problem. Here's your issue. Idris ain't the only one that's right in this debate. He's not the only one that's correct. He made his arguments eloquent, sharp, smooth. He's a smart guy. God bless him. But Samuel was right too. Samuel's right too. Who better to reflect the African American experience in film than the African American? And let's just be clear, this is something that my British friends brought to my attention when I was in England. They explained to me, they said, when you're a black American in England, you get treated better than a black person who is actually British because they can tell from your accent that you're a foreigner. So because I'm a foreigner, I get treated better than the native black people that are there. And then I said, well, that's crazy because in America, you get treated better with your British accent than African Americans get treated with our American accent. So if they know you just a regular brother from the hood, they're not going to treat you the same as if you are a British person who speaks with a certain accent, even though I know that's a terrible British accent. So forgive me, my British friends. I'm trying to imitate y'all the way y'all imitate us, but y'all do it much better than us. I mean, I was shocked that Stringer Bell was British because I mean he's been practicing. He knows how to talk like a thug from Cleveland. It's kind of crazy. But anyway, the point of the matter is to say that this all comes back to racism. This all comes back to racism, and also these arguments, these Hunger Games situations will never go away until you find a way to help everybody eat. If you don't find a way to help everybody eat, then you're always going to have the Hunger Games. And the only way all black people are going to get a chance to eat is if black people are the ones who are cooking up the food, growing the food, and serving the meals. If you are expecting the white man to feed you, then everybody ain't never going to eat, and you always going to have the Hunger Games at the end of the day. You will always have the Hunger Games as long as you are being fed by your oppressor, because they will strategically allocate the food to make you kill each other, like you a couple of Michael Vick's dogs sitting in a cage fighting over one piece of meat. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you guys get what I'm saying? You're going to be living the Hunger Games until you learn to own and control your own shit. If you don't learn how to, let me just say this. Look, I'm probably, when I go different places, I get inspired and influenced by my environment. Right now, I'm in Black Wall Street. Right now, at this very second, I'm on the soil of Black Wall Street, a few blocks from Greenwood, Oklahoma. And I was blown away by the fact that they had so many businesses in Black Wall Street that we do not have today hardly anywhere. They had 21 grocery stores in Black Wall. I'm like, how in the hell one little neighborhood gonna have 21 damn grocery stores? They had 21 grocery stores. And do you know how many they have in that same area of the city today? One. So these black people, straight out of slavery, no resources, no affirmative action, no job opportunities, no nothing, no Pell Grants, nothing, were able to build 21 grocery stores so that everybody could eat, so that everybody would be good, so that you don't have to fight for your place in line as you all getting on your knees begging master for that one opportunity. When I go to LA, it makes me really sad. I get really sad when I go to Hollywood. And you know why I get sad? I get sad because Black actors are the most intelligent, hardest working people I've ever seen. They are intelligent, hardworking. They are disciplined. They are focused. They'll sit down. They'll study their lines. They'll show up. They'll sit on the set for 14, 15 hours a day and then do it the next day, do it 6, 7 days out of the week, and be literally doing it for free sometimes, doing it for scraps. And they're committed to their craft. They're that good. I'm so extraordinarily impressed. They're so smart. It's so amazing. The best actors are some of the most amazing people I've ever seen. And what makes me sad about it is I sit here and I think, my Lord, how is it that you have all this talent and you're all scrapping and fighting over one or two little roles that's offered to one in every 5,000 people? Why is it that you're sitting out in the hot LA sun all day long at an audition where they're going to pick 1 out of 300 of you to do this role when at least half of you are good enough to do the job? Where are the captains of industry that are going to manufacture and create enough opportunities so that Black people don't have to keep playing the Hunger Games? That's your problem. That's why in this debate, and I'm going to summarize and close it up with this debate, Idris Elba is 100% correct. I believe British actors have every right to come and get opportunities wherever they lie. I don't think anybody should beat them up or throw sticks at them because they take a great role in America. I think that, and they do a wonderful job. That many of them are classically trained. If they're good, they deserve it. And also, these are our brothers and sisters. They just happen to live across the sea. But Samuel L. Jackson is correct also. You're African Americans. Many of you are descendants of slaves. I mean, how many of you are descendants of slavery? How many of you are ADOS 100%? How many of you can trace back to your great 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 grandparent and connect them to slavery? I know I can. I know that my name Boyce came from my great 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 grandfather's slave master who named him Boyce. Right? Why do I carry that name? I don't know. I guess I'm just used to it. Maybe I should change it. But you know what? That's my name. That's what it's going to be. But at the end of the day, we have a lineage and a connection, and this country owes us. This country owes us. And I like the fact that Samuel took on the fire of making that comment that was going to make people uncomfortable because somebody needed to say the shit. Somebody needed to say the shit. I mean, I don't blame black actors who get offended and annoyed, when people somehow think that because the black actor is from England, that they're classier and better. Because you're right, they have really great proper grammar and everything, and it kind of, and we can't always match up to that. But I mean, come on, man. I mean, when you look at a movie like Get Out, and you saw the role that was played there, that was a perfectly defined role for an African American. That was a role that an African American has lived. I mean, a lot of y'all like that movie because you're like, oh man, I lived that. I know that feeling. I've gone through that. Right. So I just kind of think that there has to be nuance in this conversation. It's a tough conversation to have. And the ultimate solution at the end of the day is this. I have daughters, right? And I'm their bonus dad. They have a dad too, of course, and then I'm the bonus dad. And we get into situations where the girls start fighting over stuff and they start arguing over an outfit or a pair of shoes or whatever. And here's the thing. The way I can solve the argument most of the time is I can just go buy a second pair of shoes. Because I have enough money, if they're fighting over a cheeseburger, I can just buy another cheeseburger and then the fight is over. The problem for black people is that we can't afford to buy another cheeseburger. We don't have the skill to cook another cheeseburger or to get another pair of shoes. So we're all fighting over a very limited number of opportunities, which makes us divide and conquer. And so to Idris's point, it does connect back to that caste system because they do not win. They cannot, this white supremacy thing cannot work when black people are united. So they must keep you divided in order for them to maintain the upper hand. And that's exactly what's going on right here. And I see right through it. And I hope that you see it too. Okay. All right, guys. So once again, I want to say thank you to our sponsor for tonight's podcast, valortax.com. I hope that you go check out valortax.com. Tax time's coming up. So, or not coming up right away, but pretty soon you're going to get your taxes back. So go check out valortax.com. And if you'd like to sponsor a podcast, get a shout out, feel free to go to drboycefinance.com and you can purchase a shout out. Also want to remind you, don't forget that we have the All Black National Convention coming up October 28th through the 30th. And a lot of you actually come from England and other places around the world. It's an amazing conference. We're going to cover everything from crypto to relationships to investing to politics. We're having speed dating. We're having all kinds of stuff. There's a whole kids track. So if you'd like to get your convention tickets, you can go to boycewatkins.com. You can also on that page find out how to be a volunteer. Volunteers get in free, but you got to go through training. And so if you'd like to apply to be a volunteer, that link is on that page as well. Or if you'd like to apply to be a vendor, that link is there. And also, of course, don't pay full price for your hotel. We have a major deal with the downtown Sheraton Hotel. They've agreed to cut your price significantly. So do not pay full price. Okay, guys. So we look forward to seeing you at the convention. Please hit the thumbs up button, share, subscribe on your way out. I'm out of here. I'll talk to you soon. And please have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care now. Peace.